and watching Black Queens Uncut. And grab your wines, your vape, or whatever you need to relax because we are about to get into some queen chats. I'm so excited because we have another guest today that will be a part of our roundtable discussion. And we're updating for the summer because we're back for season 2. Woo woo. So this is season 2. Finally, we're back. I know y'all been missing us at Queens. I know. But I'm Monique Loveless. Queens, let them know who you are.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
What happened?
Hey guys, it's TK Trinidad.
TK froze.
Raquel, go ahead. Introduce
yourself. No, listen. I was like, I'll introduce myself, but I know I'm, just a guest. I'm not one of the.
Go ahead, girl. Introduce it.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? My name is Raquel Harris or Raquel, but please don't butcher Raquel. Just call me Rocky if you can't get it right.
Amen. Okay.
I guess you family, Raquel.
I know. That's why I was like, I didn't know what I needed to do. I just wanted to make sure like I wasn't stepping, into some.
No, girl, you just go ahead and throw it out there. Let them know who you are. So we are doing a summer catch up, ladies. What y'all been doing for the summer? How's your summer been? What y'all been doing?
Oh, it's been popping from my kitchen to my living room, to the bedroom.
You were real in the house.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, I was. It's a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. What don't y'all get about that?
I'm good.
Just because you're over it, it's not over. But no, I've honestly just been in the house. It's a pandemic. I haven't been really doing much. Just trying to get as much rest as possible. I haven't been really working as much, so I've just kind of been chilling, but in the house mostly.
Yeah, she been in the house. I haven't been doing much of anything. That's been my whole summer. I've been just going with the wind. Oh, I have been 6 feet dating a little bit. That's it. Like 6 feet. Yeah, you go to the park or something and do 6 feet dating. You see each other. Or like one guy, I made him, meet me at Starbucks because I was picking up my Starbucks. But you can separate yourself outside with your Starbucks. So, and so yeah, that's pretty much my summer. I didn't do much. Got ready for Black Queens Uncut. Yay. And that was it. That was about it.
Wow. So yeah. So managed to, my company, Center In skincare and candles. So you go to centerincompany.com if you want cocoa butter, candles, body wash, all that good stuff. It's doing really, really well. More than what I expected. I actually honestly didn't know what I was expecting, but it's doing well. To the point that, it's by the end of this year, we should be in some stores and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. In the process of that, relationship wise, there's been some, restraining orders and some flights to, different states and, cities in LA or in California. And, it's just been, I've been living like my last 9 months has just been like, I could write a book. So,
all through a pandemic.
All through a damn pandemic.
Situationships. It's been like, it's been going, it's sugar and spice. There's a lot of spice and there's a lot of sugar. So
she hasn't sat her ass down nowhere. She's been on the go the entire pandemic.
Look, some of us got to make money. I'm just Canadian trying to make it in America, So I just had to keep hustling until I can hustle no more. And that means I'm good.
No, seriously. Center In is amazing. Definitely go pick it up. I'm a supporter all the way. Love it. Smells amazing. Moisturized on that.
Yes, thank you, folks. So you're actually all three of you on this chat right now. But for folks who are watching, thank you all for supporting. Without you guys in the very, very beginning, it wouldn't have been popping. So thank you guys for supporting because it's going places. So I'm really excited.
Here is doing it.
It is. And Raquel, what you been up to for the summer? What you been doing?
I have just been really, I guess, chilling and just working. I'm gonna be going home next week for a long time, and I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, so I don't get to go home very often. So I'm very excited. I mean, the pandemic obviously has been a lot, just because it's We got Chadwick, we got the protest, we got it's a lot going on for people of color right now. So honestly, I've just been trying to find my zen and stay focused. I've gotten into essential oils. So that's like really been my thing, is just kind of finding peace and making sure that I'm mentally okay.
Right. And that brings us to our point where, you know, we want to shout out and just say RIP to a legendary actor, Chadwick Boseman. He played King T'Challa in Wakanda. 42 as Jackie Robinson. He played
Thurgood Marshall, James Brown,
like legendary. And it just, I mean, that really shook my heart. I was just like, oh my gosh, I think that shook a lot of people with, you know, getting with Kobe leaving this year, also passing away this year, and his daughter, and you know, and then this one, it's just like our legendary people are being snatched. So yeah, we want to give out an RIP for our Wakanda.
Chadwick.
Yes, Chadwick Boseman. So we're doing a catch up for the summer, and a lot of things have, even though we are in the middle of a pandemic and close to a civil war, we want to talk about all the shenanigans that went down over the summer, starting with a round of applause for Jada and Will and their entanglement and how they handled it on the red table talk. And is August, is he a little snitch? Is he doing too much? What was your thoughts on this? What was the thought when this came out?
I want to hear Raquel's hot take.
I'm dead. Why? I mean, honestly, okay, because one of you guys' talking points was, does this ruin the perception of Black love? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody should like mirror their relationship or their friendships off of anybody who's a celebrity. I think that that's just weird in general. But to be honest with you, like if we're talking about like tea, I feel like it was definitely extra for August to speak out of nowhere. I think it was very weird. I honestly felt like Will was very hurt, and not saying that he's not, he hasn't done his own dirt, but I did feel like Will probably didn't know the depth of the relationship. It seemed like there were new things about the relationship that he was just now finding out along with everybody else. So I would say, go ahead, sorry.
My bad. I feel like that's what everybody said. So you believe that there was stuff that he didn't know that she was saying?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going off of like the rumors of Hollywood, I think we've all heard about Will and Jada having an open relationship of some sort. And I think that that's totally fine. I think that that's honestly a conversation that's starting a new wave of how we see relationships in general. So I think that that's a healthy thing that they do for them. But at the same time, I think that trust and communication is still very key, no matter what type of relationship that you have. And I think that that was what was missing for Will. I don't think that he knew all of the entanglement. He didn't realize that there was something more to it.
Do you feel like the table talk was necessary, like for them to get on Red Table Talk and do it?
I think as a man, Will probably was like, I'm getting embarrassed out here. And if you're going to have me be embarrassed publicly, you should clear it up publicly. And I mean, and that's, again, all whatever, we don't know what their conversations were or what they've talked about before, but I do it for the people who hadn't watched it or have watched it, if you see Will, it seems very emotional. Like it seems like he's really trying to hold back, like, all right, like, you know, and again, they've called each other life partners. So hopefully, you know, they figure it out.
Right. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. I hated the situation. Like, I know Will, I think Will was upset because it got out and he was mostly embarrassed, and they've been a very quiet family minding their business. And I think the fact that we were now into their homes, I think that's what upset Will, because look, Will has been doing his thing and Jada stated that they had broke up. It's been known that he's had relationships as well. And that's why when he made the joke and said, I'm going to get you back, and Jada said, well, you already did that, he had to sit back and go, oh shit, yeah, you're right. But I think the main issue was, we're now letting our secrets out, and your little boyfriend can't keep his goddamn mouth closed because now he's letting people into our homes. And I just thought August was super tacky because this isn't the first time that he's done this. Yep. Last year when he tried to put out that stupid single, and I'll say it, and he put Jada's middle name in the artwork, it didn't pick up. So after you done broke up with this woman, and now that you see her and her husband are back together, because remember, they say that they broke up. This wasn't I cheat on my husband. The man sat there and said he hated Jada, and Jada said they broke up. So I think once August seen that this couple was trying to figure it out and they were working it out, he then was like, well, shit, the single didn't work last year. Let me try to do it again. But this time I'm going to say it. So I do think the red table talk was necessary. And I just feel bad that they had to open up their doors and let everybody in. And I just thought it was super tacky on August. And then for him to attack like Kiki and he's still talking about it. And it's like, and Maul from the Joe Budden podcast made a very good point. This is what happens when you fuck your groupies. Like fam, this is a married couple. And one thing, when you're messing with someone married, I don't care how deep and entangled you were, this is a married couple. They're not leaving their partner for you. So for you to go into this, and then I don't know. It was just super tacky on my part for August.
Yeah, but you also, not to necessarily defend him, but kind of defending him. Like, Jada's a grown ass woman, so Jada knows what she's doing. Jada probably put it on him, and he probably never experienced someone like Jada before. So,
but is that my fault? I see.
No, but it probably had him in his feelings, and he makes.
Of course,
it definitely did.
Yeah, I'm not saying he was right in doing it, but I think we've all kind of been there where it's just like, damn, like that deal.
Of course, and I think Jada was in her feelings too. But when August last year tried to be tacky, and then I remember he had an allergy reaction, and then went on Instagram and said Will Smith punched me in the face. Like, that's tacky to me. And because it didn't work and the Smiths weren't paying you any attention, of course we sometimes get into situations and we get fucked up. But it's like, they both were grown. Yeah, she's much older than him, but he's a grown ass man and he's done tacky shit before Jada. And that's just me. I just can't do the sympathy thing with August, because it's just like, and if the roles were turned, it'd be the same situation. You got into a situation, and I think, because she even said it, she was in a broken place as well. I think you found two people who were maybe in two broken places. They came together, and I think a relationship spawned out of that. And the feelings got super deep. And I think once her husband came back into the picture and probably was like, I think I want to work this out. It was one of those things where it was like, thank you for your services. I'm going to work this out with my husband. Right. That's what I think.
Sorry. I do think it was irresponsible just a little bit on Jada's part, just because you are older. At the time, he was very, very young. His sister had, was she killed, I think, or he had gone through a hard time. Right. And so I think it was, I agree. He is grown, and you are responsible for the decisions that you make. But the same thing I think with Tyga and Kylie, it's just a weird space when you are a grown woman. You've been through the works. And when this other person comes in, and of course he mentally still should be able to define whether or not something is healthy for him. But sometimes when you are in a dark place, you're not able to balance those types of feelings. But still, I totally agree. They both were grown. It's a decision that you kind of have to make, especially for me, if I'm in a dark place and I know, okay, this woman is married, she's got her own family. And I think what was also weird about it was that Jaden is the one that brought him to the family. So he was looking for a support system. And so I think it was just all a mess. And
that's what I think too. I think it's one of those things where it's like, I can't put all the blame on Jada. It's one of those things where it's like, if I know I'm mentally not there and I'm taking care of my nieces now, my sister just passed away, my homeboy's now bringing me to this family situation. I can't speak for August. I just can't put myself in that situation. And then now our feelings are definitely getting entangled. And now it's so goddamn deep where we're both in love with each other, but I'm in love with a married woman. And I'm sure she has feelings for me, but she's a married woman. So it was just crazy, messy. I just hated them dragging her the way they dragged Jada. But when you are a celebrity, people are going to be in your business the way that they are. And everything was on.
Do you really? Okay. I agree with a lot that you said, but I don't know. I feel like when things like this happen, a lot of people get dragged either way. I think why she got dragged so much is because even when she did the Red Table Talk, which I felt could just kind of helped the situation and seeing everything from both sides. I feel like she did. She was just like, oh, I did my thing. but she didn't seem to be bothered by it. She didn't seem to be bothered by it at all. I feel like all the emotion came from Will on that Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
And I feel that way is because a lot of people did say, I think things came out that he didn't know. But I don't think she said enough for him not to know. I think he was upset because she got caught. And this is nasty. Like, this was just
I also think too, because like
situation.
they broke up, her and August broke up a year ago, and I think she maybe went through those emotions already. So I think she was caught off guard when she heard a song again and was like, well, damn. And I honestly think she wouldn't have had done that Red Table Talk. I think it was her husband that was like, I'm tired of this shit because now they're in my DMs. People are talking. You got to remember, like, though their kids are older, they still have 2 kids and they got family members and their kids are now online and they can see this shit. So I think her husband was like, we got to talk. Like, you got to sit down and tell these people what it was, because going forward, we're not going to do this, because it was only August that was doing the talking.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I agree in a stance that he said, oh, we're going to have to do this together because I'm a superstar, and when I go out to interviews, I don't want to keep having to repeat this. Like, this is not a part of my stardom. This is not a part of what we have put out there. No matter what people have seen about our family, no matter what people have put out there about our family, but this is starting to get to the point where it's super messy. It's real, but it's messy, and I think that we should address it. Do I feel like it hurt the perception of Black love? No, because like Rocky said, we always knew they had an open relationship. We always knew they were each other life partners. Yeah, so that wasn't like, it wasn't like a big deal. But I definitely believe that you are a married woman. Even though you thought it was going to be over, y'all weren't over. You were a married woman. You did break up. You were much older. And at 24, I could see, you know, an older man getting caught up on, a younger man getting caught up on an older woman. And she already knew, I feel like she probably already knew her feelings, even though she might have, you know, they might have had pillow talk. But she knew in her mind, like, I'm not going to be with this man. Like, let's be serious. I'm Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm not going to be with him. He has all these issues going on. Not only she brought him on the Red Table Talk to talk about his drug problem, I'm here trying to help him. So at the end of the day, I think that it was necessary for the table talk. I think that their perception is not, you know, skewed, but I definitely feel like she didn't show, she might have already dealt with it, but I think she just didn't show a lot of compassion. But it could also be because of what Will does as well. We don't know. So because we know he has his own thing going on. So
allegedly.
And I do think that it is important to see images of Black love, seeing 2 Black people love each other. It is very important. However, I don't think that one failed celebrity Black relationship is the end all be all of Black love.
Right.
Yeah, and I also think too, like Raquel said, like I looked at this like I love to see a couple come together and communicate and try to work through their shit, because I think people are like, oh, this is such a stupid. It's like that's what works for them. Like I'd rather see Will and Jada put in the work, because that's what marriage is. You know what I'm saying? You've been with someone for over 25 years. This shit ain't gonna be easy. Right. Unfortunately, we just happen to be 2 mega stars, and now the world gets to see what we're going through. So I looked at that like, yo, bravo to them for being able to talk about this shit and try to work through their marriage. So
absolutely.
Right. Speaking of Black love, we're gonna get on to Beyonce. Because we know they've had their own thing going on, and now they're past it. Now she's made another visual album from The Lion King, which is Black is King. What were your overall thoughts? I have to say, let me say, because I'm gonna say it because I'm a Beyonce fan. I am a Beyonce fan. I don't know if I'm a beehiver yet. I don't think it's that deep, but I am a fan because that woman has a work ethic that is out of this world. Like out of this world. When you pick your dancers, when you sit and you don't have to, but you pick your dancers, you do lighting on the computer, you know how to edit, you're doing all this stuff, you're in every part of it, and you're this mega influencer, a mega star. I felt like Black is King was just another Beyonce thing that I could love. That was beauty, style, elegance, art. It was all the above, and I watch it all the time to feel inspired, and I loved it. So I guess give y'all's overall thoughts.
I retweet all of that. I think that
Mm-hmm.
it's literally, especially now, and I think that that's what's amazing about Beyonce's career period, is that she's always been in the business of uplifting and giving an image to Black excellence and Black intelligence, Black art. I think that it's especially now, it's very much needed. A lot of us are in dark spaces mentally with everything that's going on. And so Black is King, to me, just like Black Panther, it came at the right time, and it helped us get through so many different things and so many emotions. And like you said, I listen to it literally every morning because it really helps me start my day. And the kid, I remember she tweeted on Twitter that brown skin girl makes her cry. It makes you emotional. It really does, because there's so many different conversations that we're finally having as a family, as the Black community. And it really, obviously media and the images that we see on TV replicate what we see in real life. And it also inspired a lot of people. And that snippet about in the song Digger, when she's saying that it's written in the fine print that your life is yours, that's even deeper too. That'll be a whole nother conversation, but like real life, for real, like people need to start doing their own research on the rights that we have as people, as human beings.
Right.
But it's related to the Moors, but again, whole nother conversation. But yes, overall, Black is King was popping. I loved it.
Yes, it was super dope. I got emotional just to see all the beautiful Black images that she had. And I got emotional seeing a lot of African people I know get emotional because she made this visual album for The Lion King. And I know a lot of people were hating on it, but I was like, guys, it's for The Lion King. That's what it was for. But the fact that she had so many different African people there as dancers, their work, their art, hairstylists, clothing, like I just felt like it was such a beautiful thing. And like Raquel said, when I heard the song Brown Skin Girl and it was emotional for me, but to visually see it, I cried. And like you guys, I listen to it every day. She just put the video out for Brown Skin Girl and I thought it was a beautiful thing. And to have it on Disney Plus, to me, is even bigger because there's people who get to see us, get to see Africa, get to see all these different things. I love Black is King.
Right.
Yeah, it was an amazing feeling to watch it. But just like Beyonce in general, like we could just take so many different principles from her. Like the fact that, you know, she doesn't say much. She just drops an album. And it's like we don't have to drop an album, but it's like we don't need to say much. We just drop our projects, or we can just just do what we need to do, and we don't have to like tell others or people that think that they're above us what they think. Like we just need to do whatever we need to do. Like she has so many her like you were saying, Monique, her work ethic and just in general the projects that she puts out and that she promotes like Black love and Black excellence is just a crazy thing, and it encompasses all Black people.
Yeah.
Right.
She works with different artists, not just African American, like just all over the world, which is an amazing thing because she has the star power to do it, and she's bringing people that we haven't seen like to our forefront, and that's an amazing thing because there's plenty of artists all over the world that we can appreciate, but we're not going to necessarily know it because we're here. So definitely kudos to her. The project was amazing, and just the artistry of it. And I did hear the stuff about Africans having an issue with the stereotypes of it, but it's like we have to start somewhere.
Right.
At least somebody who is Black, who is of African descent, is telling the story or telling a version of it versus somebody who doesn't even have a drop of African descent in there. So we need to start somewhere and then get to the fact that, because a lot of people don't know, that there's different African countries.
Right.
Africa is not a country. Like, all those little things. Like we have to start somewhere. And I think with that, it's really, she's showing the appreciation of the culture, and it's, opening up to other different, like, white folks are watching, different races are watching it. So we need to start somewhere and then kind of graduate to, what different continents and different countries and stuff is about.
And while she made that for Lion King, that was for Black people.
And the Lion King wasn't, Disney has never shown no real Black people for the Lion King. So with people like
let's do the play. The play is amazing, and that's sure. But I agree, but that's the thing is with Beyonce, she was like, look, let me go ahead and take this Disney deal because and you have to move and shake as Black people. You can't tell white people, look, I'm gonna make this Black ass album. You gotta do it in a slick way that's like, okay, look, I'm gonna do this album for The Lion King, but I'm gonna talk about Black people and our suffrage and the things that we can overcome within that. It's just, like you said, she's so strategic and so smart with how she moves. So, and I didn't know, so wait, Africans, and of course I could only imagine that someone would have some critiques, but so Africans were upset because they felt like
there was like quite a few publications and stuff like that where like Africans were saying that, you know, we're not the stereotype, we don't wear like, I've been to Kenya, and it's definitely, when I went to Kenya it was crazy because they were playing hip-hop music, like, so it's, you know, what the media shows us what Africa is not what Africa is. Not everybody's homeless, not everybody has big bellies, not every kid has flies on them, stuff like that. So, you know, they were getting upset that, you know, she was showing some of the stereotypes, but she wasn't showing the necessary negative stereotypes. Right. But again, like, we have to start from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen some positive too. I've seen some like Africans who were really excited about, because like you said, there's so many different countries in Africa and so many people, they speak different languages, everyone dresses different. So I have seen like maybe I've seen Black Americans who were angry, and then I've seen Africans who were responding and being like, bruh, we're African, we love this, this is dope. Right. Like, y'all be quiet over here. Like, shh, let us enjoy something, because she's given a lot of us a chance, and a lot of the African people were in the video. So I have seen both. Like, I've seen like what you've seen, TK, and then I have seen some Africans respond to people who weren't even African, being like, please don't talk for us.
Right. Like, no name. Like
I'm dead.
Like,
I wasn't going to say her name, but that's
put it out there. Like,
that's what.
She said that. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm cutting off somebody.
No, you're good. If you're being detrimental to us as a community, then you need to be called out, period.
A lot of Africans were coming for her because she has like this saying versus Beyonce, where she talks a lot about capitalism, but a lot of people say to her, it's funny because you never mention it with Kanye, who she's friends with, or like Donald Trump or Rihanna, anybody. It just seems to always be pinpointed on Beyonce. So a lot of Africans were in her mention saying, sis, you're not, like, you are not African, and you aren't, like, you're not here. So don't speak for us. As Africans, we're happy. As a Nigerian, like someone from Nigeria, someone from Kenya, like, we're just fucking happy to see Beyonce do this. So don't speak for us. So they were kind of like in her mentions being like, girl, shh.
Okay. I heard about that. My thing is though, like, how is she, I mean, I get the whole capitalist idea, but like, okay, so what do you expect her to do if she's supposed to highlight the beauty of Africa, Black America, the diaspora of Black people? Like, I'm just confused.
Right.
Like, I mean, I guess.
Confused because it was for the Lion King, and we're okay with making lighter skin or all like non-Black people a part of the Lion King when it was in Africa. And Lion King has been out since who God knows how long. I don't know, because it was out when I was young.
Yeah, they were like 92, 93.
Yeah, I was super young. So for her to take that and remind you, this is about Africa, this is about Black people, this is about the dysphoria, like, this is about showing love. I mean, come on now, brown skinned girl, she only really had Kelly Rowland and Lupita and Naomi, and you know, some brown skinned girl was really the only time that Beyonce took anybody of big names and put them in. Everybody else she used as, you know, a come up for even Americans. Like, they got a whole platform. Everybody was excited for Shatta. Everybody was excited for what's her name, Moonful, Sonali. You know, there's just so much, I feel like. But also, again, when you're a huge star and you're doing the right things, you're also going to have a lot of haters as well.
And no one's beyond critique. I think that people are having conversations about it, because then Black Americans can understand the things that the lines that they cross, and Africans can know the lines that they cross, because a lot of times that conversation happens too, where it's like, oh, Black Americans ain't this, and it's like, man, we put it down. Like, as far as like the transatlantic slave trade to where we are today, You got to give Black Americans our credit, our due, our flowers, period, point blank. Like, of course, we have a big learning curve, but I really hate when I see the African versus Black American.
I hate that fight.
Yeah, it's like really, and again,
we're
and there's
all people.
Exactly, and Black Americans, some of us be fucking up too, and we need to acknowledge that. You know, like that's the thing is, Black people have just been dropped in a situation, and we're just trying to figure it out. So attacking one another is just not, you know, like me and TK, we had a conversation about the N-word. And I was like, you know what? It's your decision as a Black person to decide if that's what you want to do, if it's not what you want to do. And
by the way, I didn't want to do it.
So. Right. TK is not a user of the N-word, but I am. And I do not, you know, it's nothing. That's the thing is you can't judge. You know, you can't judge people's Black experience. You just have to let them understand what they want to understand and use what they want to use.
Right. But also understanding too, I think speaking as an immigrant, understanding like, you know, I learned the Cole's version of the Black experience. Right. So, you know, you learn about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, et cetera. And my dad was big. I read like Black books as a kid, but I didn't really start knowing like and I still don't know, I'm still learning all the little nuances and the ins and outs and all this stuff that comes with the African-American experience. And I think a lot of Black immigrants should, like you come with even Black immigrants come with their stereotypes, right? And you have to put those stereotypes down because at the end of the day, we're still one tribe. So you put those stereotypes down and you really understand that, okay, well, why is this person acting like this? It's not necessarily because they want to. It might be because of the oppression and all these other little things that are in play. And I think, you know, those are conversations that we don't have. Those are conversations that don't necessarily happen in the media. And those are conversations that we should highlight. And those are conversations that we should not only talk about, but then also make better. Like if you're going to be a Black immigrant coming to this country, if you don't make the community surrounding you better, then you need to go back to where you come from, period. Like you can send money back to where you come from, but you also have to help the community that you're here because you're taking from here.
So making the community better, that y'all are kind of talking this way. What did y'all think about WAP? Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
I'm dead, not that last one.
What y'all think about WAP? Do y'all feel like from Black is King to this is, you know, just being more fun, or did y'all feel like it was pushing us back, or
no? We're not a monolith. This is the thing though. Like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we have Beyonce, so now everybody has to be Beyonce standard. Like, like why is that? You know, white folks, Italian, Hispanic, all of them have their different variations of, you know, everybody has the drunk uncle. Everybody has the crazy aunt. Everybody has the aunt who's the cougar. Like everybody has those variations. And why can't we showcase that? And on top of that, Beyonce is a grown ass woman. She's married with 3 kids. She done did, if she had a whole phase, she done did the whole phase. We don't know about it. She's living her best life.
Well, and now Cardi is a grown ass woman with a kid.
Right, but I'm just saying that if she wants to do that, then she's more than willing to do that. Beyonce wants to live her life that way, then that's how Beyonce wants to live. If Cardi wants to live her life and Megan Thee Stallion wants to live her life that way, then that's how they want to live as well. What a lot of people are not talking about is the fact that Megan Thee Stallion's still in college. She's planning on opening a nursing home. She's planning all these great things with the money that she's making that everybody's paying into, because every time you listen to the song, she's getting money. So it's like, you know, I could definitely respect that, because it's not like she's taking the money and she's blowing it on, you know, Gucci rims or some stuff like that. Like she has a game plan, and that is definitely something to be seen. Whereas I think in generations before, we might not have seen the game plan. Like Megan sounds like, look, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to do with the money that y'all is paying me.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a double-edged sword. Black women throughout history have been over-sexualized, hypersexualized, and the same goes for Black men. The drugs, the gang life, all of that, that's all intentional. While it is still a part of our lives, like Nipsey is one of the most smartest men to me that has ever walked to the earth, and has always promoted Black love and community and efforts. But at the same time, we do have to acknowledge that Black women have been over-sexualized. If you go back to the slave times, slave masters would justify raping female Black slaves because they would say, oh, they're overly sexual. They love this type of stuff. Sarah Bartman, she was shipped around Europe because of her body and her structure and her hips. Black women throughout history have been hypersexualized. And I do believe that it is an intention for media to do that. And they make it accessible because it tears down our community the same way it does for gang violence, the drugs, why liquor stores and gun stores are prevalent in Black communities. It's all intentional. However, I do think that Black women should have a space to express themselves and be sexually liberated. Absolutely. The only thing that I had wrong with WAP was, oh girl, to be honest. That was the only thing, that was the only issue, because I just feel like we can never just be. We can never just express ourselves and be. And my thing is, Cardi, Megan, and like you said, you know, Megan is an educated woman. She wants better for herself. Cardi has, and I've been following Cardi before she was loving hip hop Cardi. I've been on the Cardi train for a long time, but she's also, again, she's not beyond critique. There have been a lot of things that Cardi has done that have been negative for the Black community. Mm-hmm. She's called dark-skinned women roaches. She's attacked Black women because of stuff that Offset has done. Yeah. So again, it's not to say that WAP is this terrible thing. I do think that we just need a balance. It just needs to be a better balance, because again, there, like Rhapsody, there are so many beautiful Black women who talk consciousness within their music and they don't get play, and it's because it doesn't sell. Sex sells, and that over-sexualization of Black women is heavily prevalent in the music industry, and we don't talk about it. So again, when WAP dropped, in my mind, I was like, you know, I wish we had more examples of Black women that don't have to do this in order to sell, because it's easy. We can make a platinum record like that by doing, you know, by talking about popping our coochie and everything else. But we don't have an arena as big as the other one where Black women can, because to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, I don't sell coochie. I don't scam guys.
Really?
I don't. I sure don't. But so that's my thing is, for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I would like to have a female rapper who is sexy, like, but at the same time talks about the woman who got to go to walk to the laundromat to pay to, you know, wash her clothes, the hardworking woman that gets up from that 9 to 5 every day. I can't really relate to a City Girls track all the time. Yes, it gets me turned up when I'm going to the club, but at the same time, on a daily, I'm listening to Black is King, because it's telling me, it's helping me get through my day in a different way. But again, the WAPs are needed as well as the Black is King.
Right. Well, I mean,
I feel like this. I feel like I agree totally with what you're saying. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's a fun track, but we already have fun tracks. And if we're trying to push forward and move in a different way and shift this whole Black Lives Matter, like, we need to matter in that way too. Like, yes, this is what they do. Yes, this is what she's making money for. And yes, she may be an educated woman, but that's overlooked by the higher ups and everything else that she's trying to do because of things like this. You'd rather make your money this way instead of already making the path. When we make a path, we have to kind of keep going with that path.
Right. And
you can branch off and have other things, but with this type of path, like you said, Raquel, I totally agree. I've been saying this. It's one of those things where Cardi has, you know, she's fun and she does her thing and she talks her talks, and, you know, she may be Afro-Latina, but there have been things that she have said about our Black women that is not empowering, that does not make us look like queens, and doing things like this, and you go home and bust it on your husband, but that's not the message you're giving. It's just kind of like, okay, it's a fun song and it may get me hyped, but I'm not listening to this every day. And honestly, I would like to see a shift. Like, it may not be a shift as like, because people are like, oh, well, that's what they talk about. And the fact that you're okay with that, and like you said, there needs to be critiques, then there needs to be critiques in that factor. Like, okay, at this time, maybe that song wasn't the best. Maybe, like, you know, maybe another time. But at this point, like, I just feel like WAP, like, first of all, yeah, the whole Kylie thing, I'm just like, whatever. But also, like, and we've had music like this. I understand it. I don't agree with everybody who's like, oh, the kids and all this stuff. Child,
Right.
we was in there listening to Uchi Wally Wally. Like that's
I think me personally, I loved WAP. I loved it. I love, like, retweet everything, Raquel, you said at the beginning, how Black people and Black women, we've been over sexualized and hypersexualized, but I loved it because I loved it coming from two women's mouths. And I hated the critique from men, because to them it was like, I can only call you a slut. I can only do these things for you, because we had a versus battle where two men brought out strippers and everybody was like, yes, yes, yes. Then the next day, WAP came out and it was like, God damn it, get your ass in that kitchen and put some goddamn clothes on. So me personally, like, I feel like we, as a culture, I feel like we do this all the time. Like, you may not have to be a fan of WAP, but there are fans of WAP. And I feel like there's room for both. And there's so many different Black people. You have a Michelle Obama, you have a Megan Thee Stallion, you have a Rhapsody. And I love what Rhapsody says too. She's like, because people kept trying to bring her up, and she's like, don't bring me up when you're trying to bring these women down, because you have women like her and all these different women who rap different things, but a lot of people don't want to listen to them. Don't get it twisted. They have fans, and these are some amazing women, because I listen to all these women. I'm a hip hop head, so I listen to it all. So I don't have a man, so I ain't got nobody to bust it open to. But if there's a housewife at home listening to WAP, why can't she? Or if there's a young girl in college that's like, yes, me, the lyric, it might not be my favorite song, but I just loved it coming from two women's mouths. And I feel like you don't have to be a Cardi and a Megan, and that's fine. You don't have to like WAP, but there are people who like it, and let them like it. You don't have to, but let them. Like, it's okay. We can do Black Lives Matter one day and we can do the protest, but we can also bust it like it's open. If that's what you want to do. Right. That's what you want to do. So
yeah, like
I loved it. I appreciated it.
Same thing what Kiki and Monique was saying. It's just like Monique was talking about the higher ups, and Kiki, you were talking about like other women. At the end of the day, you know, we have to take the power from the higher ups, and we have to take the power from the men and create our own stuff. So if our own stuff looks like we have the WAPs and we have, you know, Beyonce's King all on one network, then why can't we have that? And I think that, you know,
because I love it both. I'm a brown skinned girl, and I'm representing my roots for Africa, but you're damn right, when WAP come on, I was saying, touch the little thingly thing in the back of my throat. Like, now mind you, I don't have a man. Again, I'm in my room talking to myself. Bob. But my Bob. But at the same time, I'm listening to Michelle Obama's new podcast on Spotify. So I think it's okay to have room for all these things. And it's okay if you don't fuck with that type of shit. And it's okay if you do. That's my only thing. Like, I think it's there.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say we're just all built differently, and we all like different things, and it's okay. We don't have to like it, and it's okay for us to like it.
Mm-hmm. And that's my thing, is all I want is balance. The same way we had, like, our Martins and we had the Huxtables. Like, that's what the issue was with TV shows, was you had a lot of negative Black representation on TV. And until you saw the Huxtables, the one-on-ones, the positive representation, there's a curve that you need to feel, because it's like, you need positive images, and you also need, you know, the Love and Hip Hops. But at the same, you know what I mean? So, like, in my mind, I think that WAP is amazing. I think that I listen to it too, but at the same time, I'm just, for talking purposes, you have to understand where that comes from and why it's happening at the rate that it is. So not to tear down Cardi or Megan, because again, I'm all about having a conversation, and Cardi, you know, hopefully one day she speaks about all the things that she said that were toxic. But again, I don't fault her. I feel grace for her. But at the same time, again, I just want there to be a balance, because there's not that many. Yeah, we have Rhapsodies, and yes, they do have a fan base. I'm one of those fans. But we don't have a Kendrick and a Cole that's like there. Like people that act like, because for me, Kendrick and Cole, even with Kendrick, J. Cole's okay. But Kendrick, I listen to him for the Black is King content. And I can get that because there's so many Black rappers, male rappers that do it. We don't have that many. But again, to TK's point, we need to start putting women in position to be able to provide us with that plethora of women.
Right. I think I just want both. I think I just want a balance of both. Like you said, we're not getting a balance of both. We, like, a lot of people would rather have the Megan Stallions and Cardi B's, which is not a problem. I'm not saying they're an issue, but can we balance it out with more? Can I see more of the Rhapsodies, the Tierra Wax? Can I see more of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want them too.
Kamaya, like they're there. It's the people.
Kamaya.
It's the people. It's the fans.
It's
like
like,
there's great TV out there, but motherfuckers rather watch trash. So it's like, whose fault is this?
That's because we're not, and this is a whole different conversation, but I feel like it's because media is what feeds us. It's like Apple.
Yeah.
It's like Steve Jobs says, you don't tell, that's why Apple is so big. You don't give people what they say they want. You tell them what they want.
Yes.
So if you're telling me that this is what I want, like people are just going to roll with it. If a lot of people, we are not the majority in LA. We're not. Like you have the rest of America. Like if you go back home, well, you're from New York, so it's a little bit harder. But if you go back to the Ohios or the Missouris or whatever, they're being fed. They're being fed. Like you're not really thinking. You're thinking like, oh, I'm being fed. That makes sense. I'm gonna go with it. It's not like you take the time and research and, go and you have other people around you who are in are so diverse and things like that. So we're being fed across the country. So
I think we are. And I think both. I think we are being fed, but I think people like what they like as well. Like I do.
There are stuff on YouTube that gets millions of views. There's stuff on YouTube that gets million views that media wouldn't even take on, but now all of a sudden they want to take on because it gets millions of views. But you sat up there and said you didn't want it at first because didn't nobody like it. So it can be. It's just it's a lot of us being fed through.
I think also I say this because a lot of people will complain about said BET and say, I want to see certain things. And these networks put them out, nobody's tuning in. Like there's so many great shows on BET Plus right now, and I'm not seeing anybody tuning in. I'm just seeing people complaining about it. And I worked at BET and we were putting these shows out. And yes, 20 years ago, it wasn't there, but now it's there. So I do think like the audience, that's why people were begging for these girls. I'm like, these girls are sitting right here. These girls are here. Let's start listening to these girls. Let's start putting them up higher too.
But I think
that's just my only thing.
I think that's because though they've been feeding that negative stuff for so long though. And so now we're conditioned to like that. Cause and again, for me, I've like literally been not intentionally, but for naturally at first I was like, okay, I'm just listening to Black is King's gospel music in the morning. And it became something that I wanted to intentionally do just so that I can listen to a different type of music. Whereas in the mornings, I was playing the WAPs and my dude is Santana. I don't know if y'all listen to Santana, but that's my guy.
Saucy Santana.
Yes, Saucy Santana. Get into it, okay? But yes, and that's my guy. But he talks about the same things that City Girls.
I was about to say he does.
Yeah, he talks about the same things, but at the same time, and like T Grizzly is my guy, and he talks about shooting up people. 21 Savage, my guy. But
I like Pop Smoke, so
and that's what I'm saying though, is the difference between female rap and male rap is that they have a better
balance. Yes.
Whereas female rap does not. And again, like Nakia said, we have been conditioned so long, and that's why we're not tuning in to those shows. Like for me, I've personally chosen to watch Potomac over Atlanta because Atlanta is just a little bit too much. Potomac is a lot more like mature. We're gonna talk things out. Like at a certain level, when you get older, like when we're kids, we always listening to One Wish, Ray J, We in Love, and all that other stuff.
Right.
But when you get older, there's just a different type of content that you want to fill yourself with, if you do anyway. Because some people.
I agree.
It's also we have to think about it like this too. Like, yes, you may have those shows, or you may have that, and it's just not being promoted the same either.
That part.
Like, you have to think about, like, and this has become one of my favorite shows, Lovecraft Country. Like, it's not being promoted like that, and it's up.
Really? There's a huge billboard. Yes, I agree with you. A lot of our shit does not get the. A lot of our shit does not get the promotion that a lot of dumb shit. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
So if you don't have the room to actually, if you don't know that it's there, if we're being fed and you don't see an actual thing that comes up, it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't know nothing about it. How can I
only disagree with Love Country Craft because that's HBO, and HBO will promote the fuck out of their shows. There's a huge billboard of Love. I've seen like 5 billboards of Lovecraft, but that's because HBO's a different breed. They're totally different. They put the money behind Insecure. Don't get it twisted. There are a lot of people who do not promote the shit that they should, and that's why a lot of people don't know. So that's why I believe there are great people who sit in these seats now our gatekeepers and the Lenas and the Tylers who are making these production companies and saying, hey, what's up? Here we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're
And
also
I think
looking
it's
at like, you know, Black PR people, and then maybe even taking the L and saying, all right, well, you know, this is my community, this is what I need to promote. And, you know, not necessarily charging the $3,000 or whatever is their thing, and saying like, you know, well, once you make it, then we'll revisit. Like, you know, almost doing that as well, because it's like these artists do need promotion, and you know, putting it on SoundCloud and IG or whatever is an extent, but it's, if you're seeing it on a bigger scale, then you're going to be more, it's aesthetics is a huge thing. Then you're going to be more as a community, as a people, like, all right, I'm going to go for that because I'm seeing it everywhere. Everybody's promoting it. So, you know, like that's again, where it comes to like, we as a community, we have to take care of each other. So, you know, Cardi and Meg Thee Stallion are pretty much there. So now let's look at the artists that we think that needs to get there and get them to that point. And it's just kind of like, you know, we can even talk about the folks that we do know, like, you know, shout out to Portia Carter, that she just put out a book. Like I'm putting that on my IG. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, for
your business.
For the people who talked about my company on IG, and I got customers through that. It's like we have to support each other, and in order to get to that level, so we no longer have to look to the higher ups, or we no longer have to look to the men who are in power, and you know, we can control that. And it's like, nah, well, you know, Cardi and Meg Thee Stallion is great, but listen to this artist, she's legit. And put our stock behind them as well. It's like we also have to talk about it, but we also have to make movements to make it happen.
Yeah, I love the Cardi and Meg. I mean, I think that it's amazing, especially with the Black female empowerment within the rap community right now. I love it, and anything that they put out, I'm gonna support because you're a Black woman. As far as Bishop Hero, I saw that as one of y'all talking points too. Like Nakia said in the beginning, I don't think men need to say anything about anything that women do, period, point
at all.
And on that note, can I say this? Because this is a speaking point that I have to get to. Kamala Harris, honey.
Yes.
Wait, Raquel, she's one of your peeps.
Sorry, Kamala.
What, light skin?
Right.
Oh.
Kamala.
Sorry, Monique.
I'm gonna mute myself and I'm logging off. We're not gonna perpetuate colorism.
Right. I was talking about being an AKA. HBCU.
For y'all who don't know, Raquel and I go way back. If you go back on like AfterBuzz, Dear White People, it's a joke that we have. So don't come for me.
I don't have the joke. I do not.
It is a joke that we have.
I was talking about being an AKA.
Right. I just want y'all to know, the people who are listening.
I have with Raquel. Raquel doesn't laugh at it, but I laugh at it. My bad.
She listen, and she has every free will as a Black person. Do what you want. But yes, Kamala, take it away though. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm
sorry, Monique.
Right.
So Kamala, we gonna have to wrap this up quickly, but I wanted to go over the whole thing about Kamala. She was announced as Joe Biden's VP. She's been pretty much killing the game. And I can't wait to see her for her battle with Pence, because we know she's going,
massacre.
You're gonna tear that ass up, okay? But what were y'all's overall thoughts when Joe Biden announced her as his VP?
I'll keep mine quick. I was happy. I was excited. I just want more people to do more research on Kamala before jumping out the window and saying shit that they seen their uncle post on Facebook. Yes. Actually do the research, understand the work that she was doing, and understand the mistakes that she made, because no one is above criticism. Mm-hmm. The mistakes that she's made, she spoke on those. And that's something that I just wish that we would understand and do the fucking research, because that's something I did, because I didn't understand. I'm not a big politics person, and I sat and did the research, and I said, oh, wow, like people on the internet are perpetuating one thing, but she has answered for the mistakes that she's made. I'm excited. I thought it was a smart choice for him. Shout out to being an HBCU grad. I did not go to HBCU, but we're all Black, and I feel like it's a celebration for us. Shout out to her being an AKA. Shout out to her for being a Black woman. Okay. And I just want people, I know everyone's like, ooh, all these questions a few days away from the goddamn election. Get y'all asses out there and vote, because it's not just about the president and the VP. It's about the Senate. It's about your mayor. It's about your governor. And once they're in there, we can hold their feet to the fire. But let's just get that orange bitch out of office and we take care of business. But I love it. Love you, Kamala.
Right. I love it too. I'm going to just say this because I'm going to be quick. I love it too. I was the same way, Kiki. I had to do my research because I was like, oh, I don't know. Like I was ready to vote for her for the president when she did the run, but I was like, I don't know. So I finally went in and did my research, and let me say this to a lot of people. Like, yes, really do your research on this lady, because it's not what it is, what y'all think it is, or what they're putting out there, what they're feeding us, what we just talked about with what they're feeding us is not all the truth, honestly. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to it, like, yes, I totally understand that there are some, like you said, nobody's above criticism, but also at the same time, she had to work around the system. So there's a system in place, and she is a Black woman. Can we talk about it? A Black woman trying to navigate a world that was not made for us. So all in all, I feel like her addressing it was a major, I feel like really learning what she's about, and that, you know, a lot of stuff that's put out about her was also because the precincts or the police academy doesn't even mess with her. So we already know what that is. Mm-hmm. We already know what a lot of that could be. So I'm congratulations to her. I think she's going to be fucking amazing. And I cannot wait to have, I ain't gonna say sassy because Carla
Carla told you don't use that word.
To me, Carla has talked to me about being sassy.
Funky.
She's on another episode, y'all. So y'all will get to see Carla.
Wait, Carla, Renata Carla.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
She was so I'm not gonna say sassy, but to have a Black woman up there doing her thing, speaking up, calling people out in front of cameras and everything, I'm for it. Okay, I'm all for it. And I do recommend. I don't tell people where and how to. I don't tell people how to vote and how they should go, but vote. Go vote and know your rights. Like a lot of incarcerated who have been incarcerated before, felons and stuff, don't know your rights. And our ancestors died for this. So go vote. And everybody who says, "Oh, our votes don't count," child, they feeding you, because why they going so hard if our votes don't count?
Mm-hmm. To stop us from voting.
That part.
So go out there and do your due diligence. If you can't do that now, shit.
As a person who can't vote and just hearing different people's perspectives, I'm like really concerned. Like, meaning that, like, I jest with Raquel, but obviously Raquel's my girl. But I'm seeing that people, I see your face, Raquel. I still love you.
No, I was making a joke.
I'm just joking.
Like, how you gonna comment on our country? You ain't. No, I'm just kidding.
I see people, like, you know, making the comments that she's not truly African American. I see people making the comments that, you know, her mom's Indian. I see people making the comments about, you know, her career and stuff like that. And then she's married to a white man, all that stuff. And it concerns me because, you know, it concerns me because I think there's a group of the population within our community that really, you know, thought Obama was the one, and they don't think Obama did enough, and therefore they're withholding their vote because of that, and they don't think that the Kamala and Joe will make the cut, because, you know, oftentimes, you know, the Democrats, you know, cater to Black folks, and then, you know, everything that they say that they're going to do, they don't necessarily do. So for me, it's very concerning as a person who can't vote, and hearing just within the community, just the not so sure conversation about them. Whereas when Obama came into play, everybody was like, oh, he Black, we good. This is what I'm gonna do. Like, there was not necessarily not a question. Whereas with this scenario, it's very concerning, because it's the same thing. You know, Hillary's not Black, clearly, obviously, but when Obama, you know, gave his like, okay, this is who you should vote for, you know, even the white women who look like Hillary didn't vote for her. So I'm just concerned in general as an immigrant, as a person who can't vote, because there's a lot of things that are in play that people who aren't immigrants that I'm seeing that can affect my life, and I can't even vote on them. So it's very just concerning for me that people are just gonna, you know, and they're not gonna do the research. We're gonna do the research because this is what we were trained to do. But there are people who are not going to do the research. They're going to listen to Uncle Joe and Uncle, Stedman or whatever, and whatever Facebook post and whatever. Like, I watched the RNC. That thing was scary because if you don't do the research, it's actually believable. Like, it wasn't like that outlandish of the little things that they were saying that people wouldn't believe it. So it's scary to me because it's just like, damn, like, people are just taking all these, like, who cares if she married a white man? Like, she's been married to him. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm just concerned overall that people might not go out and vote because of all their little hesitations, and they're not going to do the research.
Yeah, I totally retweet everything that y'all said. I'm not gonna lie, I was for Biden and Elizabeth Warren. I was hoping that pick was gonna come.
I voted for Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah,
My girl, Elizabeth's my girl.
Yes, I love Elizabeth Warren and I love Bernie, but at the same time, we don't have those options. So, baby, we got to work with what we got. And that's just really how we have to look at it. And unfortunately, if you look at the history of presidents and politicians, period, ain't none of them worth a damn. Ain't none of them worth a damn. And there's nothing that you can do about it. We can only work with what we have. And as far as Kamala and her past, I mean, that was 9 years ago or so. And at the same time, like we've said this entire time that we've been talking, no one is beyond critique. Of course, Black people, the way that they feel about her, if it's negative, that's totally justified. She put a lot of Black men away. And yes, she did have to move around the system that she was placed in, but she could have did a little bit better. I'm not gonna like let her go.
I agree.
She could have did a little bit better. She has, and then I mean, I think with the same thing with how hard she was going against Biden when they were having debates too. I think that it's becoming messy. Like, it's a very messy situation that we're in. But again, that's politics anyway. We're just now seeing it on the forefront because social media is super accessible. Information is super accessible. As far as her being not a full Black woman, I mean, she is a mixed race Black woman. That's okay to acknowledge. She recognizes herself and identifies herself as a Black woman. So that period point blank, that's where you wrap that up at. And I do think though, colorism comes into play. We're not gonna see no dark-skinned Black man or Black woman in the office for some time. And I think that we need to acknowledge that as well. The reason that Obama was so easy to take in was because he was a little bit just like them. The same way back in the slave days, the mixed race or lighter skinned Black people got a treatment that was just a little bit better. You still a Negro, nigga, however you want to say it, niggas, however you want to identify yourself. At the end of the day, you're still a Black person. That's why she's getting mistreated the way that she is in media now. So again, I'm all for her, not just because she is a member of my sorority, but just because she's a Black woman who's striving to make the situation better for us. Biden, he got some issues too, because he be getting a little
baby.
time. Okay, we really want to talk about it. We could talk about
his past.
Okay, he's sketchy too. But again, they're all sketchy. Obama, a large number of immigrants, the Latinx community, a large number of them were deported during his time. There were some things that he could not help, but there was things that he could have done better on. And again, like we've said I feel like that should be our mantra. No one is beyond critique. We just need to create conversation so that we can understand and just make the best decisions that we have that are available to us.
Right.
Retweet.
And that will end our episode. On
That was great.
We will be ending our episode. We definitely will go into more conversation with that because election is coming up by November. You vote November the 3rd. So make sure y'all out to vote and sign up to vote. And if you're like TK, I don't know, DM her so y'all can get more information. A little more helpful to us Americans, okay?
Yeah, you better do it.
But thank you, Queens, for tuning in. We hope you love the conversation. Make sure you catch up with our past season and our past episodes, and then we will be dropping every Wednesday. We have our 4th rotating seat, so there's going to be plenty of guests coming, and we're so excited about season 2. We're so excited for our queens and some of our kings that listen. And you can find us everywhere at Queens Uncut. And make sure you come into the DMs if you have any questions, concerns, or even if you just want to talk to us about stuff. So let us know. And I'm Monique Loveless. You can find me everywhere at It's Monique Loveless. And Queens, let them know where they can find you.
Guys, you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom. Rocky, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. You got to come back.
And you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. I just want to say, with my love for Raquel, definitely go and follow her because she is the truth. Like she spits some game that like has me thinking. And y'all, I'm not too impressed by too many people. So definitely go and follow her because she's doing her thing, and also just showing Black love and Black sisterhood. Like Raquel from the jump has like showed me love, and like there's so many stories I can tell. So I just want you all to, like, if you're not following her, definitely go and follow her because like she be saying some stuff on her stories that I wish I have time to like repost, but it's definitely educational, it's definitely worthwhile, and then she's just killing it. Yeah, and her Twitter, she's just killing it in the game. So definitely go and follow her.
Oh, I seriously, like, thank you guys so much. I only laugh because like I feel like I have that Joker syndrome that he got where he's in uncomfortable situations.
Me too.
I do the same too, so don't feel bad.
It's so, well, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Raquel, or Rocky, whichever you prefer, but just make sure you get Raquel right. You can find me everywhere on all social media at Raquel Harris TV. Thank you guys so much. Please, like, Black Queens Uncut. Y'all doing it. I appreciate y'all. And then shout out to Candy too.
Yes.
I'm sad that I missed you, and she's doing amazing things. You all are doing amazing things. I'm so proud of all of y'all. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. We appreciate for everything you've done. You're the one who got us on Baller Alert as well. So if y'all heard us off of Baller Alert, which we got a lot of people off there, she's the one. She is super dope, and we're definitely gonna have you again because when we have these topics, we love your opinion. So thank you so much, and thank you, Queens, for listening. Bye.